Michael is my fiance. I'm not worried about the mother of Michael's child being a part of our lives. Aviana, I'm excited to meet her. Aviana, let me do your hair.
Michael and I got engaged before he went into prison. I'm just ready for us just to be a family and start our lives.
Yo guys, welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. Yes, my voice is gone, bruv. Megan and Sarah, or Megan, whichever you want to call it. For me, let's start from the very beginning. Again, Megan has got engaged to a guy who she's been talking to. Well, she got engaged at the time when she was talking to the guy for 10 months, okay? Little did we know that obviously the man has now not only does he have a bride that he's engaged to, he's already married that girl already.
You know that before he went in, he proposed.
Yeah, I know.
But how do I say this? We're already married.
Before she even went in. It's mad, it's ludicrous, it's nonsense. But this girl, Megan, don't know a thing. And Sarah doesn't know that Megan's around either. So this guy's basically playing both girls and getting a win off it, basically, a score off it in a sense. And you know, it's painful to see that a man playing two women. And I mean, this is such a young boy's mentality, and even saying a young boy's mentality is even incorrect, because young boys shouldn't have this mentality, but because we train them to have a certain mentality, they have this mentality. Baby boy. Alright, cool. Because if baby girls are doing the same thing, let me tell you something, life will be different. Man then will be shook. But they don't, because the only way for this game to actually work in terms of people cheating on people is if actually only one party is actually really playing the game. If both parties play, there's no such thing as a relationship, because both parties are not interested in a relationship, they're interested in just having sex. You get what I'm saying? So now the tides are turning where women are starting to have sex. You see men complaining, all these hoes did it. No, when you was hoeing, no one was talking to you though, bro. Anyway, I digress. So touch on the fact that Sarah, the bride, and the one that's actually got married to Michael, which is really crazy. They've got a kid together called Aviana. Beautiful kid. What I would say is this: you know, single mothers are one of the most vulnerable people in this society. And the reason why I say that, vulnerable in a sense of a man approaching, and here's why: because it's no longer you, it's you and your child. And so when you have a man coming towards you, you have to be extra vigilant compared to somebody who's single without a child, because you're not thinking about another life when you're single and on your own. But when you're single and you're a single mother, you're looking after a child, and anybody you bring into your life, you are now responsible for this child and their well-being. So therefore, there's certain risks you cannot take. And so as I was watching Sarah, I was just kind of just deep in the whole situation that, you know, she wants that family unit.
Hurt again. I know that Michael is going to be loyal to me. I trust him because after everything we've been through, we were able to make a promise together, which is to be married, to be a family. And I'm very excited that we were able to do that while he was in prison.
And you know, a lot of times we'll do anything to have this family unit. It's a problem, because if you do anything to have the family unit, you'll do anything to have the family unit. What won't you do? Do you get me? And it's interesting that she kept the secret of the fact that she's already married to this guy. You know, sometimes, you know, sin festers in the darkness. You know, when you're doing something sneaky, it's a sign that potentially this is probably not the right thing to do. So the fact that she had to hide it from her best friend and even her family to say that, look, we've already got married in a jail cell, is crazy. Not only...
There is a pretty big secret that I have not told my family or my friends. What do you think? Do you love it?
Don't know.
I don't know how I'm gonna break this to them.
Look at the timestamps, because they show pictures of Sarah going into the prison in, I think it was October.
On visiting weekend. Instantly, there was a connection. We were in the visiting room, but it felt like we were the only two people there.
I believe that 3 years is over. Michael is the father of my daughter, Aviana, and I'm really excited to celebrate our wedding.
October 2017, and also then Megan went into the prison in December 2017. It's 2 months. You got married, and then he's still cheating already. So this guy had a cheating habit beforehand. Ladies, please. Let me drink some water for this one I'm about to say. I think it's the second law of thermodynamics, entropy, which is basically saying that everything progressively gets worse. Okay, that's how nature exists. So let's put that into practice. If the man was cheating before, a bit like Offset, and you get married to him, do you think the ring is going to stop him from doing what he was doing? A ring is simply a signification, a symbol of what you guys have promised. But if you couldn't keep the promise as a word, what do you think that a ring will do? Nothing. It doesn't hold no paper, no gravity, no weight. The ring can come off just like his morals can come off. Do you get me? So for me, it was so interesting that Sarah decided that she would continue this relationship even though she knew he was a cheater before. You knew he was a cheater.
Michael has been unfaithful when we were actually together. It was really hard to deal with.
He wasn't faithful. You said it was painful. And one thing I realized is that, you know what? It's cheating is trauma. Yeah, it's trauma. And actually, instead of the person drawing away from you, it actually draws a person to you. And they draw the reason why the person who's cheated on gets drawn to you is because the trauma is so deep. It causes confusion and confliction because you're understanding that somebody said they loved you and then has done something so, they betrayed you so deep that it actually makes you want to go regress back and like, why? And when you're asking why, look, when you go to ask why, this is where the problems start. When you go to ask why, you get sucked back in. He then starts filling with lies and telling you this and that. You know, starts feeding you sob stories, etc., etc. That why question of why did you cheat and then going to ask him will always get you drawn into his game. Do you get me? Guys like that, they're game players. So the moment you ask why, it's open up the conversation again for him to just swashbuck you with just nonsense of stories. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, I was just kind of deep in it. I was like, this cheating is trauma, you know. You know, it's abuse. When you cheat on someone's abuse, and it's like the Stockholm syndrome, where it's Stockholm syndrome where someone gets kidnapped, and it's like when you kidnap them, instead of the person like now at the end of the when they get discovered of them saying they don't want to be anywhere near the kidnapper, they actually want to be near the kidnapper. Why? Because of the syndrome. It's like that trauma, that abuse has birthed something completely different, and I believe that's the same thing with cheating. And that's why Sarah's there, you know, because that trauma's happened, and also because obviously they got a kid together, and it's again having that fantasy of a perfect family. Can I just say this, ladies, especially to you, because you girls normally end up with the child. The perfect image of a family sometimes is not with the baby father. He's done his job. He's given you the sperm. He doesn't want to be a father to your child. Release him. Now, there's somebody out there. There's a Russell Wilson waiting for you. There is a Russell Wilson waiting for you. Okay? There's a gentleman out there who doesn't want to cheat, who doesn't want to take advantage of you, who doesn't want to just have sex with you, who doesn't just want to, you know, get what he can out of you, but actually genuinely wants to have a relationship with you. Take your time, filter through all the noise, and you will receive the person you need to receive. You get me? I'm not doing claim your man blessing anything, but I'm just saying filter the noise. Yeah, filter as you filter the noise. You can the desire is there to have a relationship, not a problem. Filter the noise though. Don't just accept anybody. Keep the car going slowly because this is a life-changing choice you're making with your child. So it was quite deep in that Sarah thing.
I don't really know if I'm more excited to see him or have sex with him. It's been 3 years for the both of us since we have been intimate, had sex, anything like that. I just hope that both of us can handle it. So
again, sex was brought up again into the conversation. You know, saying she said, "Obviously, I can't wait till he gets out. I'm gonna have sex with him." And you know, it's been 3 years since we had sex and stuff like that. And it's like, again, remember I said about that focus on the physicality. It's not the be-all and end-all sex, but it's important, but it's not the be-all and end-all. And the fact that these characters are so focused on that is a problem. You know, especially for Sarah as well. I know that it gets lonely. And I think like sometimes women feel guilty, especially if they have a child, to go with somebody else because it's like, for instance, let's say he's locked up, right? It's like, I feel guilty. She might feel guilty about going with someone else because he's due to come out. Let me tell you something. Go and find somebody else. If he's locked away for 3 years, and I'm talking about genuine circumstances where the person has actually committed a crime and you know they committed a crime, they deserve to be there. No word of a lie. So now leave them to it, you know what I'm saying? And if you're feeling like you want to date, go and date. But when you ride or die for some reason in prison, you got to make sure that this person who's ride or die is worth riding to die. I've always said it. Do you know what I'm saying? So make sure that that person, if you're going to ride or die for them in a prison, that you can hack it, because your body's going to get lonely, your mind is going to get lonely. So you have to understand that process. So if someone's genuinely gone in there for a good reason, you know, they commit a crime, my friend, look, man, some of you, you don't need to be there, man. You don't need to wait for him or her even. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was my little 2 pence for Sarah. Back on to obviously Megan. Her friend Bree is sensible. I mean, she made some very good, sensible suggestions.
This is a big deal. I haven't seen him put into the relationship yet. There are some things that I don't feel Megan asks. Like, is he going to get tested when he gets out before they get together? It's a big moment when you lose your virginity, and I need him to be fully committed to her.
In terms of how she said she hasn't seen, you know, any input from the guy into her friend's relationship, and she's absolutely right. Where is the input? Again, it takes an outsider to see what's inside, because when you're inside, it's like, when you're inside a relationship, it's like being in a boxing match, right? Yeah, and you can see you're inside a boxing match, you're inside this fight with somebody, and they're throwing punches. You can kind of see where the punches are coming from, but when you're outside, you can almost see the whole thing, and you can say, listen, bro, he's gonna throw a left. The way his body's moving, you can throw a left. But when you're in the fight, you're so concentrated on certain body movements and just concentrating on a specific area, it's hard to see the outer picture. Do you get what I'm saying? Much harder to see the outer picture. I mean, imagine you were inside a painting. You don't see from the outside what it looks like. You're just looking from your perspective. But when someone is on the outside, they can give you an outside perspective in terms of what's going on. And so when Brie was talking, I was like, this is a good friend. I wish she'd listen to you, but she ain't gonna listen to you. Do you get me? But she said obviously marriage is what she's always wanted. People get caught up on the institution of being married, but what they don't understand is it's not the marriage that you're excited by. You're excited by the procession of the wedding.
I love it. I feel like a bride. I feel beautiful.
You're excited by the Instagram posts of we got wedded. It's our 2nd year anniversary. But what you don't understand is the process that goes behind it and the things that are happening in between that thing. Not only that, the way she's so hyper focused about marriage lets me know that there is something that has built this particular savior ideology in her head, that when she gets married, you know, it's happiness is going to come. And a lot of us do that. We place our happiness in something, saying, if this happens, I'm going to be happy. Guess what? You're going to get it and not be happy. Because the heart, the mind, the soul, it lusts after things continuously. In fact, the lust is unsatiable. It can't be satisfied. So to be happy is to be content by external forces. But to be joyful is to have that within yourself. You're going to need God for that, baby. But anyway, so for me, when I deeped it, I was like, okay, I'm looking at this girl, Megan. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, something's happened in terms of love. Like, you feel neglected, or you haven't felt like you've been loved. That's why you're thinking that marriage will save you. Ladies and gentlemen, this goes to boys and girls. If you think like this, begin to change, because you'll get to a marriage and it will not be easy. And that's why people quit relationships easy, because they didn't realize the work that goes into a marriage. Marriage is a long haul. It's not even like a partnership that you get from business. No, it's a different type of thing there, man. This is where you step on each other's toes and you got to say sorry when you don't want to say sorry. This is when you're sleeping next to somebody, and at a particular time you may not like them at that moment, but you've committed to it, because marriage is a committed contract. Okay, imagine your contract to Vodafone or to Sprite or to one of these phone companies. Like, you just don't quit the contract, my GG. You don't just quit the contract. It's 24 months. You better hold that 24 months. It's to life, death do us part. You better hold it till then. Yeah, and in between that time, you may look at your phone and say, I don't like the phone, and the way it operates is a bit slower than usual, and now it doesn't have the same functions as a new phone. But guess what? That's your phone. That's yours. That's yours. Now you got to find a way of working it. Boom. And then obviously she mentioned to her friend off cash that she spent £12,000 on calls.
So like, it gets pretty expensive, doesn't it? Or how does that work?
Yeah, it does.
Do y'all pay per call?
Yeah, I spent like $12,000 on phone calls.
12,000?
Yeah.
$12,000? You can't have a car right now.
And I was just like, could that money be better spent? Okay, one. Remember I said about the themes, financials, because also Lizzie and Scott spent so much money, it's crazy. But okay, £12,000 on calls, okay. And it's going to be so mad because £12,000 has been spent on somebody who you don't really know, like that. And it's interesting because I remember she said in the first episode that the cousin of the guy told her that she should, call the guy and have friendship. I believe that cousin knew, one, that she would be willing to give money, because two, she was vulnerable, because three, she was desperate. You see, and to a hungry man, everything bitter tastes what? Sweet. And so this is why she's in the predicament she's in right now. She's desperate for love. She's desperate to be wanted by someone, and therefore now she's going over on board. £12,000 on calls, my Gigi, because we have to speak every day. Do you? Do you have to speak every day? You don't speak to your parents every day, even, let alone this man. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch though, still, because it's your man, it's different. But like every day, 12 grand. You know what I'm saying? In a short amount of time. So yeah, I mean, there's a world of pain coming for this girl and judgment, because you haven't got the information at hand to make a sound judgment about what a good relationship should be. Because like I said, faith cometh by hearing the word of God, and we walk by faith and not by sight. Therefore, what you're seeing comes from the things that you're hearing. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're seeing by faith, and faith comes by hearing, what information you're hearing actually dictates how you see things. That's not me, that's Bible. So I can't even say 2018 Little Black Book. Boom. Anyway, listen guys, appreciate you, stay blessed, stay locked, stay live. Appreciate you, baby. Oh, that was off. It's Little Black Book, it's Little Black Book.